Hi everyone!
This is our 10th
episode!
I didn't expect it to last that long, but yeah. Big day, big happy day, because we have been consistently posting for 10 weeks now, because this is our 10th episode. So instead of doing a regular episode, we're going a little more meta, and we're reflecting on our past 9, and also this one, just reflecting on what we've done over the past two-ish months, just kind of talking about the process and what we've enjoyed and what we haven't so far.
So I thought it'd be super cool to just talk about our favorite episodes so far. And mine was definitely the one we did last week, which was How to Buy a Lifestyle. It was all about consumerism. I thought that was just such a great episode for us, personally, because we had such a good conversation going, and we got to talk a little bit about the personal side as well. That was mine.
This is going to be such a boring answer, but my favorite was also the consumerism one. Just because it was so, I feel like we did really good on it. I feel like it was, not only, pretty well researched, we had a good points, we had just also personal anecdotes. It just felt more relatable to us, too, because it's a topic that we talk about a lot. But just to spice things up, I'll say another favorite of mine probably was the Taylor Swift one, because I love Taylor Swift, and I just think talking about something you love is always fun, and that was just a really fun episode for me. So yeah, those are two that I definitely enjoyed filming a lot. And also the Twitch one, because again, I also really like Twitch, so I like talking about that.
Definitely, I've learned that when we talk about things we're passionate about, it just makes for such a better episode as a whole. Mm-hmm. So
this is something we learned pretty early on, that if we talk about something we don't like and that's super boring to us, we just do bad. I think if you go to some of our earlier episodes, you'll realize this. When we first started this podcast, we didn't know what kind of, podcast we wanted to do. We didn't know how much research we were going to, put into this. We didn't know what kind of tone we were coming in with. So we would spend, 2 hours prepping and researching and making these super detailed outlines just to finish recording and being like, wow.
That was so awkward. Yeah. It was even just difficult to talk in front of a camera at first. I feel like both of us, you doing debate and myself doing drama and speech as well, I feel like we're both used to talking in front of people, but then just having ourselves being recorded and just talking with no audience was just so weird.
The being comfortable in front of a camera thing was the biggest learning bump I had to get over personally, because I've always made little YouTube videos of myself when I was 6, but I always hated rewatching them, and I hated how I looked, how I sounded, how I acted, all the mannerisms. I just didn't like seeing that played back, and I didn't like how people could also see that. But I kind of just started to learn that whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. So definitely I've gotten more comfortable into camera, and I think anyone can notice this just watching through chronologically. I've gotten so much more conversational, so much more chill, so much less anxious.
Yeah, I feel like I'm so challenged with that. I don't want to rewatch any of the episodes, not because I don't like them, just because I don't like hearing myself talk, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey, and I do feel like it's also a thing where in this podcast specifically, we're trying to give out important information about a topic that we believe in, that we're so passionate about. So after the episode ends, you might think, oh, I forgot to mention this in the episode, or this one point I made was totally wrong. And that's just such a frustrating thing.
Definitely. That's why sometimes I still feel like we need to find the balance of outlining and planning and also just, making it chill. Because there are some points, as you mentioned, that I'm like, oh, I should have mentioned that, or there's something I could have brought up, or there's something I shouldn't have brought up, but you just can't change that. And so that's something you kind of have to learn to accept. That once it's done, it's done. You can't change it anymore. You might as well move on and make the next episode better, which is what we've been doing as well. So it's been that part I've been okay with.
Yeah, definitely the self-improvement part is a giant step for us, because I feel like we're both kind of perfectionists in a way. So being able to move on from an episode and say, hey, we always have next week, that's been such a big part for us. And in research as well, deciding what to research on and how much time we want to take to research on something.
Mm-hmm. To give you guys a little insight on our research process, whenever we hop on call before we're about to record, we just spend 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how distracted we get, just researching a little bit about the topic and just kind of bullet pointing what we want to bring up. but we don't tend to like outline it or like organize or structure it anymore like we used to. We just kind of have those to remind us, it's like, hey, this is a statistic that I wanted to bring up, or here's a example that I think would be really cool. So that's kind of just what we do for research. We don't really go too in depth because this podcast, we're not really the most scientific one out there, but it really just is about how we can present it, I think.
Definitely saves us more time, and I feel like it also gives us more focus on cross-referencing and making sure our articles don't have like an inner bias, like being able to make sure that these articles are from different perspectives, so then we're trying to represent things the best way that we can.
Yeah.
So definitely that's given us a lot more time to improve that aspect.
Absolutely. And the cross-referencing thing is also, I think, something we've come to like do a lot on this podcast, just because there are two of us, and the things we research separately, right? So there's gonna always be kind of two sides, even though we both agree on feminism good, sexism bad. We all have like different like little points of views, and it's pretty interesting to see how that kind of comes out in a podcast, because we don't really like discuss what we think going into the episode. We just kind of watch that come up. It's kind of interesting seeing like how different we are as well in our research and our way of speaking and the way of podcasting. That's pretty noticeable, I feel.
Yeah, and I feel like we also realize that we're not like professionals in feminism or anything like that. We just chose a topic that we're passionate about and that we feel like affected us in our lives. And it's given us the opportunity to meet so many cool people and learn from them
So many
too.
cool people.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think that we'd have so many opportunities that we did once we started. But we talked to, first of all, so many amazing guests that have come on and, like, are just complete, like, experts in their field and know what they're talking about. And it's just been so fun to talk to, and makes us actually, like, look forward to recording these, gives us something other than ourselves to talk to. And also, we've met some really good, like, mentors in the community, too, who have been really, really great with supporting us and giving us advice on, like, podcasting.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the improvement that we've done wouldn't have happened without our podcasting mentor. So that's something that we took a lot of advice from, for sure.
Mm-hmm. The podcasting community almost more specifically female podcasters we've reached out to have all been so supportive, like, just hugging us and like sharing their experiences, and it's just been so helpful, because I feel like we would not be here without that kind of encouragement, definitely, because we went through some rough bumps, pretty rough bumps, especially around episode 4, 5.
Yeah, the sports one specifically.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's a rough topic, guys, because the sports one was not taken well.
Yeah, we did get a lot of people who did not like what we were saying. And people that we knew in person as well, which was a little bit difficult to kind of digest, I guess. But we got through it, and just like our mentor told us, some people it's just not made for them.
And I don't know, I was like upset over it at first when I realized like so many other girls that we know and even we don't know have reached out to us and been like, hey, we saw all this stuff you're getting like told. I thought the episode was great. Also, people have come up with us and we're like, oh, I love the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And that kind of, like, keeps us going, because, like, these are the people we want to reach, and it's reached them. So why care about the people we weren't trying to reach in the first place? It's not for you, So it's really been helping us be able to, like, move past that and move forward.
Exactly, and I feel like that experience, too, has helped us kind of experiment a little bit, because then we saw, hey, we reached the wrong audience here. Why don't we try to reach a different one? And then we try like different types of content to reach those people.
We definitely like spread our wings a little bit after that, because we decided, hey, we can do more than sitting in front of our laptops every Wednesday, Sunday, and talk. So we started experimenting with Reels, TikToks that were more than just clips. We did one on Barbie during that episode, and it did really, really good. We did not expect that at all, to be honest. I mean, I thought it was gonna do better than our other ones. Like, I would, like, predict around, like, 50 likes. I did not expect, like, 190,000, right? But that was really good for us, because we gained, like, 200 followers after that.
Yeah, and it brought us a lot of views, too, on our podcast as well. A lot of new listeners. And it just brings more people to discuss this topic, because it kind of made us realize, too, with like, the people commenting, that we aren't always right, for sure. So definitely all of these people listening to us are able to kind of have this discussion about our different perspectives on feminism and what it means. It's really
And we
cool.
just got so many lovely people in the comments too that are just so funny. They're so silly, you know. We just enjoy talking to them a lot. What's the Barbie movie commented, which is kind of crazy. That was not our
It's really
target
cool.
audience, but somehow made some. So that was a pretty good highlight of our recent episodes, you know? That was really, like, encouraging. Definitely one of the reasons why the Barbie movie episode was one of my favorites. Again, you should check it out. I thought it was really fun. So yeah, that was really good. And aside from just that TikTok, we've also tried to reach into different areas of content too. It's not only, again, podcasting. Next week we have something really cool coming up.
Yeah, we have a vlog.
We have a
which is
vlog.
gonna be really
Like a
interesting.
tutorial vlog guide. Smash into one.
For young
We
girls.
definitely took longer than our usual podcast, which we realized. A lot of more technical difficulties than we realized. A lot more technical difficulties. But it turned out pretty good. So stay tuned for that next week. You'll love
And I
it.
feel like with this experimenting too, like the blog that we're talking about, we kind of learned about our co-host dynamic as well. I feel like at the beginning we didn't really know what we wanted to go with. We were just kind of talking like we weren't even friends.
Which we are,
Eventually-
by the way, guys.
Yeah.
We're
Eventually
pretty
we,
good
we
friends.
kind of learned to talk more naturally, I guess.
It's not, like, I think after the first two episodes, like, when we were on call discussing it, we were like, we don't sound like we like each other. And it's like we
I'm
started
being
this
forced to
podcast.
talk to you right now for
It's
podcasting.
like we started this
decided to
podcast because I'm
start.
like, oh, we have some pretty good conversations, but we just didn't end up having those at all. I'm sorry. But yeah, we ended up having to change that a little bit and be more chill with each other, which I think has also been taken in better. Definitely, it's also made talking on the podcast more fun
It's made people like listening to it more too, so that's a plus.
than just us reading like facts off of our phone.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what we were doing. And
Yeah, pretty much.
if you do notice that our first episodes are not the greatest, keep in mind, we did not do any test run, okay? We did not do any sort of practice or anything. We just thought, hey, we're gonna start a podcast, and then we got on Riverside, and then we hit record, and then we talked, and then we posted that, right? That's our first episode. No practice, no research about how to public speak on a podcast, nothing about how to edit a podcast. Everything we have tried is on the internet for you to watch, which is a little scary sometimes. Yeah, you have the full journey. There's nothing hidden. Nothing.
Yeah, honestly, I like how we're so transparent about that. And I also like to talk about how we started it. And honestly, it was just a midnight call working on something completely unrelated. And I
I don't
remember
even
you saying to
remember what
me,
we
hey,
were working on.
people are pretty mean to us sometimes because we're girls. Do you want to start a podcast about that? And it was just like, that sounds great, man.
I don't even remember thinking it was starting about feminism. I think it was just, hey, you want to start a podcast? And then, what should we do a podcast on? I don't know, sexism's pretty bad. and then we made a podcast about it. Which, okay, we have a lot of midnight conversations where we have a lot of ideas. A lot. There are, oh my god, so many. So
You
I
are
didn't really
evening
expect this
people.
to get as far as it actually did. I didn't expect us to actually go through with it. Not even near getting to 10 episodes consistently. So that's kind of wild to me. I feel like I kind of learned that, like, yeah, I can be consistent. Because if you guys know me, I'm so bad with quitting. I'll start a project, I'll get super invested in it, I'll do like 2 things for it, and I give up on it, I just forget about it. Isabella knows this too, because every time I tell her about a new project, it lasts like a week. So having this last 10 episodes has been kind of great for me, because I've learned, like, hey, you can keep up with things, and when you are consistent, it does pay off, because again, we've had so many improvements. Have you noticed that too, with kind of the consistency and commitment bits?
I feel the exact same way, especially because I feel like for me, you probably know this, I doubt myself a lot when it comes to projects. Like, I start something and I think, wow, is this really going to succeed? Is this worth my time? Should I drop this for another thing? And then doing this, I feel like keeping each other accountable as
Definitely.
we do new episodes, it's just helps so much. And also boosting each other's confidence too. Like, hey, this episode was great. Don't doubt it. We're going to do great. And we're just going to keep improving over time. It's just such a great
I
thing.
just
to
feel
have.
like if we didn't have this accountability for each other, both of us would have given up by now. Because if we didn't have the other person be like, hey, when can we film the next episode? there just would be no next episode, you know? But there has been. I'm so proud of the fact that we have not missed a single week, right? I've gotten sick. We've missed appointments, right? We've had scheduling errors. Not we, me. I've had scheduling errors. But somehow, we've been able to make it work. Even while we've been, like, working, you know, studying everything, we've been able to make it work. We have not missed a single week, and that's just so incredible. And I need you guys to give me a round of applause for that. Hold on.
I don't think that's the right one.
These... Oh, shoot. Yeah, no, that wasn't the right one. Give me a moment.
And you know, guys, Maggie is going to Toronto next week. So we've actually seen each other every single day this week working on the podcast, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Every single week. Like, every single day. I just feel like I've seen her more than, like, my own siblings, which I'm not mad about. I'm really not, but I feel like I genuinely have. But it's been good, you know? Like, we've definitely gotten closer, too, since the podcast, for sure. Like, even though we were close before, now we spend, like, half our week together trying to record a podcast video about feminism, and that definitely does something to your friendship.
I feel like we just work really well together, and we have fun while doing it, and we get to make something really cool and a little bit inspiring.
It's really cool to see, like, that we actually have, like, an impact. Even if it's not, like, huge right now, we've definitely, like, every comment, every like we've gotten, and every person who's messaged us and been like, hey, your podcast has been really helpful, as someone who's gone through these things, it's just really, like, encouraging to see, like, that what we're saying can actually, like, really help people, especially other girls who are going through, like, again, the exact same things that we talk about. And I feel like that's just been the coolest part of having a podcast. Definitely.
Yeah, because that's definitely the whole goal, right? I feel like part of it for us starting it was thinking, oh, if I don't see more women role models, then how can I be successful? And then being able to showcase these people is definitely such an honor to have.
And I know a lot of women just don't have this platform either. So I'm glad that we're able to kind of step out and be like, hey, if you want to come on and talk about something with us, we'd be, like, more than willing to give you a platform. Because I know everyone has a story to share and something to talk about. So I'm glad that we kind of have that, like, medium to be able to do so and, like, help people do that, which has been so cool.
For sure.
And we're going to keep doing it, you know? This is not the end. This is not our final episode goodbye, you know? This is just the review over the last 10 episodes because we couldn't think of something cooler for our 10th episode.
90 more episodes and maybe you'll get another one. Maybe we'll react to an episode.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to be one of those
I really
people.
don't want to.
No.
Maybe by 100 episodes we're able to hire, like, an actual editor so we don't have to do that and we can just get them to react to it.
If anybody wants to be an editor who's listening, DM
We're not
us. We're
paying
not
you.
going to pay you.
We can't afford that right now. If you guys don't know, we record on, like, just our laptops with the free version of Riverside.
You know, speaking of technical issues and free things, in our Twitch episode, we had 4 people in the call, and we went over the free limit. And I remember Maggie texting me and going, hey, I'm willing to pay $20 if you are, so that we could have our episode. We didn't have to re-record it, but luckily it glitched out and we were okay.
I don't know what happened. It just fixed itself. I still would have paid those $20 because that was a good episode, and I was not gonna re-record that one. But yeah, aside from that, when filming our next video for next week that you guys are gonna watch, our mics broke halfway through, so half our clips lost audio, so we had to go back and re-record some. We had to sort out which ones had audio, which ones didn't. We had to fix that a lot in the editing, and then with the mics, you had to adjust the audio on some things. Because again, this is not high technology, this is not good equipment, but it's what we have.
And not the public embarrassment, too. Like recording in a Walmart, and a Walmart employee walking behind you. And
You just spoiled our video.
Oh, I did spoil our video. Well, you know what? You have to watch it to find out more.
Yeah, you know what? How many people are gonna watch to this exact timestamp, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you
well,
watched this far, good job. I'm proud of you.
You deserve the spoiler for the next video. Yeah, definitely filming in public was something new that we had to reach. I didn't mind it that much, but Isabella kept telling me every few minutes, like, someone's coming, someone's coming, someone's coming. But we'll keep getting better. We'll keep getting more comfortable, and the episodes are just gonna get better and better, so stay excited, because we're excited, and if we're excited, you should be excited too, because you're watching the videos. Yeah, it's gonna be great. 10th episode!
Thank you, guys. Thank you.